Beverly, roll call, please.
Mrs. Denny, Mrs. Ellis,
Here.
Mrs. Essler,
Here.
Ms. Hilferty,
Here.
Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Powell,
Here.
Mr. Cisak, Mr. Tinsley, Mr. Armour.
Here. 2.01 is approval of minutes. Motion is to approve the minutes of the board meeting for February 23rd, 2022. Do I have this motion?
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 2.02 is the invoice listing. Motion is to approve the invoice listing for February through March of 2022. Do I have this motion?
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 2.03 is the treasurer's report, Ms. Powell.
As of January 31st, 2022, PennDOT's balance was $45,151,474. During February 2022, local, state, and federal revenues totaled $2,427,521. Disbursements were issued in the amount of $7,129,727. As of February 28th, 2022, PennDOT's current balance is $40,449,268. The motion is to approve the treasurer's report for February 2022. Can I have this motion, please?
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 2.04 is the budget transfer report. Motion is to approve the budget transfer report for February through March of 2022. Do I have this motion?
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 3 on tonight's agenda is student representatives report to the board. Ms. Ellis and Ms. Esposito. Break it already?
Yeah, this one is. Well, hi, I'm Gianna Ellis. I know it's been a while since you've seen me, but I'm back. Spring sports are currently in full swing, and can I just say I'm so happy to be playing lacrosse without a mask on outside. It's also wonderful that teams are now able to use some areas of the locker rooms to store their bags during the day and not carry baseball bats throughout the halls. With the start of spring sports also marks the second year of our unified track program. So Sophie and I will be sure to update with further information on wins and advancements as our sports seasons progress. Last month, some seminar alumni, myself included, took the time to hold a virtual panel with Ms. DePietro's current middle school seminar students, where we shared information about AP courses, and the students asked a lot of questions, ones that couldn't be simply answered by reading an AP course description, and Ms. DePietro thanked the panel on sharing their information to help create future successful students. Next, on the Wednesdays of April 6th and April 20th at 7:30 a.m., students will be able to have the ability to take a real-time AP practice test. In order to register, though, students must fill out a Google form sent out by their AP teacher this Friday, March 25th. The link will close at 3 p.m. that day and must be done beforehand. In addition to some academic events coming up, I'm also excited to share that we will be having a spring pep rally in order to conclude our upcoming Spring Spirit Week. The Battle of the Classes is something that we've missed out on in recent years, and the seniors are excited to get to participate once more before we leave. We will also be bringing back the tradition of pieing a teacher. This is where, with the teacher's consent, students raise money to support the pieing of this teacher. The total money collected is tallied up, and those who are in the bottom 50th percentile actually get pied by the teacher, and then the students on the top 50th get to pie the teacher. This event used to take place during the Turkey Bowl pep rally. We thought we had missed out on it, but we're glad to bring back a little tradition like this. And finally, students must make sure not to have too much fun during Spring Spirit Week, as the third marking period ends on April 8th, right before spring break begins. This time of year is when students begin to see summer on the horizon, but it's important to finish strong in order to remain eligible for all of the events coming up.
Hello everyone, it's good to see your faces. Here are some things that I will be discussing today. To start off, Sun Valley just welcomed our new principal, Mr. Roscos, on Monday of this week. He would like to send you all, the board, his best wishes and said that in his first 3 days he has found so many amazing things to celebrate. He looks forward to being able to learn more and being able to lead the growth necessary to make Sun Valley the envy of the area. As of last week, it has been confirmed that the Sun Valley will be hosting a spring dance for the sophomore and freshman classes on April 29th. Only freshmen and sophomores may attend this dance. Information regarding tickets will be confirmed by next week. Science, social studies, Spanish, math, and English honor societies are back in business. Meetings for each honor society will be held from time to time depending on the club, and inductions for most, if not all, of those said clubs will be occurring this year as well. Most of the clubs have started tutoring already, and students are able to sign up for their study sessions as of now. Junior prom is about a week away. If any students participating in the prom would like to leave early on Friday, April 1st, they will need to hand in a parent-signed note to the office by this Friday, confirming that they are in fact attending the prom and will be leaving early that day. That is all I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Nice to see you back. Question for you. We had spoke as a board. Do you think the AP classes and the students of Sun Valley would be interested in the program of tutoring kids, students, in our elementary and middle school as part of your service hours to grad?
Yeah, I really think that, especially like with the honor societies and the AP classes, like those types of students would love to do something like that. It's a lot harder, honestly, to get like freshmen tutoring hours. A lot of them don't really reach out, and I think that if they got the opportunity to do it with the younger kids, they would love that.
I agree also. I think that a lot of the AP students are very involved in the school and they like to help other kids outside of school learn. And when students in the high school don't show up for tutoring, it's easier to teach other kids.
All right. Appreciate the input there. We look forward to maybe getting that together this summer, the next school year. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Number 4 on tonight's agenda, do you have a Gti report?
I do not.
Okay. I guess we can skip over Dr. Steinhoff. Not tonight. Number 5, Dr. Steinhoff.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on the floor again and go through some of the wonderful things that are happening in Pendelco at this time. Again, for purposes of review for those who may be viewing this week's board meeting on the video, last week we had a very long meeting, very comprehensive, but I want to appreciate the opportunity that we had to talk to the board and present our special education data relative to the rates for typical school districts throughout the state of Pennsylvania. And I was pleased to point out that our rate of students qualifying for special education is right where we would expect it to be. It's in line with state averages. So that tells us that we are not denying services for students, but we're also not over-identifying students. We had the opportunity to talk to the board about some technical elements of the budget, did a refresher on object codes, on function codes. We talked about proposed increases. We talked about the challenges that school districts are facing right now, particularly with fixed costs that we do not control and mandates that are extremely expensive that limit our ability to either lower taxes or to drive the kind of revenue that we need to drive to run the district. We also had the opportunity to talk to the board about the released Future Ready Index data and how that is particularly appropriate in the areas that we deem to matter the most: graduation rates, career and exploration opportunities, all of those type of indices that matter in the lives of kids, and we're pleased that they reflect well regionally compared to our neighboring districts. As the girls mentioned, welcome to Mr. Roscoe's. He started on Monday. Also welcome to Ms. Palladino, who started at Pennell Elementary. We want to thank Dr. Murray, who's been the interim principal. We want to thank Dr. Giles, who's been the acting principal at Sun Valley while we waited for the new administrators. I want to point out, since we last met and we've had changes in the mask mandate, I have personally been very impressed with how our students and staff have been handling the masks. We've had no issues with personal choices around masking. When I go to the buildings, I see students and staff who wear masks because they want to, and I see other students and staff who are not wearing masks. And it is not an issue whatsoever. It just shows the kind of companionship and expectations that people like to share, which is, do what you need to do personally to make yourself feel comfortable. I haven't seen any bullying about that. We haven't seen any over-identification about that. I've just really been impressed how it's been handled by our students. Kindergarten registration is open. We have about 80 new kindergarten students, and I guess so they would be, I believe, the class of 2041, something like that. But it's hard to even imagine. So we are very excited to have them. Actually, it would be the class of 2034. Thank you, right? So amazing. The class of 2034 is registering to come into Pendelco right now. And we have been doing this all online. Parents do not have to stand at the schools early in the morning so they can get in to have a preference for AM and PM. And we typically enable people to choose their preference, and then we will use a lottery if we have more requests for AM slots than we actually can accommodate. And that has worked out very well since we switched to online registration 3 years ago. Congratulations to Kara Johnson, who was also in the Oklahoma play. She has earned a place in the All-State Festival Music Ensemble. She will be performing April 8th and 9th, along with her peers who got that recognition. The last Sun Valley student to qualify for the state choir, not just the regional, but the state, you may recall, is Jackie Scheck. She advanced to both the state and national chorus. And we had, as I mentioned last month, a record number of students at the high school qualifying for regional recognition. And it's wonderful to see that group even continue to move forward. So congratulations to Kara for a statewide chorus accomplishment. Outstanding work. Outstanding work to not one, two, but three wrestlers who attended states: Shane Holfelder, Alex Gamble-Williams, and Danny Carney, who all participated in it. Again, you know, the number of students who have been participating in athletics and doing well in athletics has really been exceptional this year, and we've been very pleased to see that. It's not just one or two standouts. All of our student athletes at Sun Valley have really been performing quite well this year as we're coming out of COVID. District-wide, we just got finished up with the Rock Your Socks event, wonderful fundraiser recognizing World Down Syndrome Day, and it's just a fun activity. But that starts particularly with the leadership from building representatives in each school, and also Krista Ventura, who is a teacher at Northern Middle School. She's the person every year who raises her hand and says, it's time to start planning for this, and she does a tremendous job with it. We're happy to participate in an event like that, and the kids enjoyed it as well. I'm going to point out Cindy Kravitz, our statewide gifted teacher of the year, who also is retiring this year, though, is taking advantage of the time she has left in our schools while she's teaching. She is going around to the classrooms in addition to doing her gifted work, visiting them to show students materials related to moon, earth, galaxies using a scale mode, having the opportunity to hold lunar and meteorite rock samples in their hands, talking about NASA's Artemis 1 that will be blasting off to orbit the moon. So, you know, anytime we have the opportunity to actually, you know, do kind of this real-life learning opportunities where students can actually put things in their hands and say that, you know what, I actually saw a rock sample from outer space. Those are the type of learning experiences that we really appreciate that kids have opportunities to access. We are very close to getting to the final piece of our construction project, our multi-year renovation at Sun Valley. This is a neat little nifty picture here. These are the students in the chorus program who said, you know what, this is our one chance to actually be allowed to put graffiti on the wall, because this wall will be knocked down as we expand the size of our music rooms in the back of the school. The auditorium is on schedule. That will be turned over to us within the next 2 weeks. We're very pleased with the details of that. We are extremely excited about the sound and lighting upgrades, the new seating. The entire project has gone along very well. I'm happy to announce finally the lockers have arrived. There are now lockers in the locker rooms. They're no longer sitting on a ship in the Pacific. They are there. So we'll be beginning the demolition for the final phase of construction at Sun Valley in the next couple of weeks. That'll run through the summer, and we're hoping to start next year with a fully renovated school. On the agenda tonight is a proposal which doesn't necessarily legally require board approval, but I think it's symbolic enough. The board has talked about this for a number of years. We're going to retire the Ashton Rockets, and Ashton and the students and the principal and the PTL were supportive of the Ashton Alligators because they wanted a cute mascot similar to our other elementary schools. But what you see on the screen is something that we may be using until we get to an official new logo. Just once we retire the rocket this year, you may start seeing the Aston Alligators or just the capital A in some of the materials coming out of Aston Elementary. Oklahoma show, it was wonderful to be a part of that. It is a classic, it's an older show, but the students did a great job bringing their own talents and energy into that performance. You think about what they go through, I think 5 shows over 4 days, something like that. Really, really impressive, particularly with all the schoolwork that they have, and some of them are starting to do sports at the same time. Really quite an amazing effort. Spring break is coming up. We want our staff to take a break after, really quite a challenging year. We can break the normal, as the girls mentioned. Third marking period will be ending as they go into that, and then pretty much a quick run, really right to the end of the year once we get back. So we are looking forward to giving the staff and the students that break that they absolutely deserve. And I just wanted to put these images back on the screen again. Before COVID, we were talking about Ready for Life and the portrait of a graduate. And I specifically was very often urging our staff to focus on ensuring that the activities in the classroom get students ready for life. That is our primary job, to get them ready for life. And then we had some things in place to really make sure that we were addressing developing character, creativity, communication skills, collaboration, and critical thinking, which are the skills that are most important to employers, and yet are the ones that do not get assessed on state tests. And I wanted to make the board aware that this is not something that we have forgotten just because we had a pause because of COVID. This is the core work that we do, and you will see this coming back in many of the communications, certainly from my office, but from the entire district. But this is what parents tell us they want in Pendelco. They want students to learn how to communicate. They want students to be held accountable for good behavior and develop good character. They want students to think critically. They want their children to be able to collaborate with others, and we do too. And we will make sure that we continue to provide an education that develops those skills. Tonight, let me thank Ms. Nita Tyre. She does not like the fact that her picture's on the screen, I can tell. Well wishes in her next assignment. She has been a terrific director of human resources for us during her time here in Pendelco. Heck of a time to be an HR director. She started really right just a few months before COVID came and hit us, and turned her job into a 24/7 endeavor. She's done fantastic work with it. She goes back to Upper Darby in a position that'll enable her to also better accommodate her needs as a mom of 3 young children as well. And she's done great work here, and we're happy that she's at least staying local, will do work in the county. For tonight on the agenda, as you know, we mentioned the Aston Elementary mascot change, disenrollment and re-verification. I want to let the board know that we are looking at, I believe it is about 63 students who, as of April 8th, would be disenrolled for the failure of the families to re-verify in accordance with board policy. So because we want to work with families on this, there will be a 2-week extension for them to be able to turn in the documents to prove that they do in fact live in the district. After that date, then students would be disenrolled until the families come into compliance with the documents that we need to see. I'm recommending tonight Dr. Dave Criscola, who is here tonight. Welcome to our boardroom and our meeting tonight, Dave. For our Director of Human Resources, we went through a very comprehensive interview process with Mr. Criscola. I am thrilled that we have found somebody with nearly a decade of direct experience in HR, as well as a former educator, former school principal. He comes to us from the Interborough School District, and I recommend him without reservation, and appreciate the fact that our board has been involved in the process and been apprised of his skills and abilities, and I think he'll be a great addition to our team. In between potentially Dr. Criscolo's arrival and the departure of Ms. Tyre, we will need an interim Director of Human Resources, and I am pleased to recommend Tracy Marshall, who was our former business manager and did fantastic work in that role here. Did a great deal of work collaborating and working closely with the HR office as well. She is certainly more than willing to come back and help out in an interim role for a few months, and I recommend her as well without reservation to help in this short period of time between the new Director of Human Resources starting in Pendelco. But thank you for the opportunity to talk about all the great things that are happening in Pendelco.
Thank you, Dr. Steinhoff. Announcements for the public tonight. The board met in executive session to discuss personnel and litigation matters. Comments by members of the board? Sounds like Mr. Tinsley has something to say. Board's meeting.
Mrs. Tyre. I won't. I'll be good. That'll be fine. I'll do it behind your back. You will be missed. And then also on the agenda, we have a board member's resignation. Miss Catherine Hilferty. And some words that come to mind for Catherine are soft-spoken, mama bear, dedication, vice president, intelligent, team member, and collaboration. So Kathy, I'll keep this short and sweet. You will be missed, especially your smile, your sarcasm, and your intelligent feedback. So thank you.
I would certainly like to say thanks, Kathy, for all you've done for the district. You've been here for a long time. We will see Kathy back at graduation. She's welcome back as her son will be graduating to present his diploma to him. Items for board information. Comments by members of the public? Not anyone? All right. Item number 10 starts on page 2, page 3, 4, ends on 5. References Pendelco budget 2021 and through 2022. Act 93 plan, PDEA agreement, PDESPA agreement, PDSSPA agreement, and the PA School Code section 1108B. It is the administrative recommendation to approve all personnel items as presented. Do I have this motion?
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We'll use the consent agenda tonight for items 10.03 through 10.17. I would like to withdraw 10.16 so we need to vote on that individually for the human resources agreement. So I need a motion to approve 10.03 through 10.17, excluding 10.16.
So moved.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 10.06 is a motion to approve the human resources agreement. Motion is to approve the human resources agreement between Dr. David Criscola. I want to make sure I pronounce your name right. Sorry about that. And the Pendelco School District for the term from July 23rd, 2022 through June 30th, 2027 as presented. Do I have this motion?
So moved. Second.
And I note that this motion should read for the term not later than July 23rd, 2022. Mr. Criscola's initial first date would certainly not be before July 1, but will still be determined with the release from his current employer. The agreement reads not later than July 23rd through June 30, 2027 as presented. Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying that, Dr. Stein. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Welcome, Dr.
Thank you very much.
Number 11, comments by members of the board? Comments by members of the public? All right, if Future meetings are Wednesday, April 20th, study session, 7:30 here at the Service Center. And next is our business meeting, Wednesday the 27th, also here at the business. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.